Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, and I'm actually just re-recording a shorter, quicker version of these spoilers because none of these cards deserve 1 second of my time, to be perfectly honest. Like here, for example, let's jump into Consuming Tide. It's a 4-cost double blue sorcery, and each player chooses a non-land permanent they control and then returns all the rest to their owner's hands. But wait, it gets worse than a 4-cost version of a 6-cost spell that destroyed Standard a couple years ago. Then you draw a card for each opponent who has more cards in hand than you. Imagine this 4-cost blue sorcery in the turns deck. In the spell cloning, spell fetching, look at the top 5 cards in your library over and over and over, Lier flashback deck. Imagine this in there instead of an individual point bouncer. And then they draw cards on top of it. How could they have possibly thought that this is what Standard needed right now? And how could they have possibly thought, oh, we're not going to ban Alrune's Epiphany knowing damn well that this card is coming? And spoiler alert, this isn't the worst blue bounce card in this set of spoilers. This is just going to be sit back and watch the dumpster burn because they are going to have so much cleaning up to do after the release of this shit pile of a set. It is amazing. We've got a demon that just clones itself for free, no mana, no tapping, nothing. The requirement is bullshit. It is astonishing how pushed this is. Now see, I thought after Midnight Hunt that we'd see a little bit of a power reset because they were well aware as of Eldraine and certainly by the time Ikoria came out that 80 to 90%, according to their own polls, of players of Standard Constructed were not happy with the power level and thought it was too high. Which is basically everybody. That's functionally like your entire customer base told you one thing. So now fast forward enough time where they could have fixed it, and we've got this. And like I said, Midnight Hunt was pretty tame. I mean, okay, they had some werewolves and some, couple cards that went too far, but like, compared to like Eldraine or Kaldheim, oh my god, it wasn't even on the same power tier, not even close. But now we've got this today. So like, for example, Valorous Stance. Here we go. Nothing wrong with this card, it would just be exceptionally good, except that the white deck set already run stuff like this got a massive upgrade. So look at this, okay. Instant 2-cost white, choose 1. Target creature gains indestructible till end of turn, so basically a counter spell for your Angels deck. And your other mode you can choose is destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. There are literally 2 different spells that do this in white, and they are both played right now. So now they put them both on the same card for 2 mana. That deck just went from bad to unbeatable. It's basically half a counter spell mixed with a kill spell in neither blue nor black. And it's in the number 1 already most dominant color. So like these are just examples of just like, if you really think about it, there's nothing really wrong with this. I mean, they made it an uncommon, it's a good spell, okay, whatever. The removal's kind of restricted, it's just, it's a good spell, cool, it's like a draft spell. But in the context of what people are already playing, holy shit, this is going to be a disaster. So just with that in mind, just keep that kind of card assessment strategy in the back of your head for the rest of these. Now, I'm going to burn through these because literally doing anything else with my time would be a better use. I might stare at the wall after this. It's a more productive use than reading more of the crap that they crammed into this. So, Cemetery Protector. By the way, literally every damn card in this set is double 1 color. I don't know if they thought they're promoting not playing 3 colors or something, or I don't know. I'm starting to think Kamigawa is going to be Devotion, which makes no sense, but anyway, it's a 3/4 for 4 flash, because white can now do the entire color pie, so can green, it turns out too, by the way. Little spoiler for you there. When Cemetery Protector enters the battlefield, exile a card from a graveyard, and then whenever you play a land or cast a spell, if it shares a card type with the exiled card, create a 1/1 white human creature token. So this is a flexible, optional landfall card that can also be in a tribal deck. Well, in fact, it just says card type. It could just be creatures. It doesn't even have to be tribal. It could be clerics, angels, mix, mono, white, life gain, good stuff. Now, can that deck accept another 4-cost? It's a little heavy on the angels anyway, so maybe not. I don't think this is the end of the world, but it's just one more go wide card for the like Sun Dancer Innkeeper deck that also runs Scoot Swarm that they refuse to ban. But now, like, you can't even really run that because if the first board wipe, you just lose. God, Standard is so unbalanced right now, and this ain't gonna help, like I said. Next up, Innocent Traveler, which is a 4-cost double black. Again, creature human 1/3. And if you let literally anyone, if you trust anyone or let anyone into your house or talk to any traveler in all of Innistrad, you deserve whatever happens because, my god, that plane, it's like, oh, everything in Australia wants to kill you except times 10. Like, it's like Super Australia. The humans should just abandon it. Like I said, they need to just all either turtle in one giant city, get together and defend it, or just absolute nonstop ongoing war and just demolish the forces of darkness forever. Or stop having kids and give up. It is beyond saving at this point. It's just comical when people are just like, oh, I'm going to sit around the fire and have a pie. Do you know where you live? Imagine these villagers. It's like the middle of World War I in trench warfare, and they're just like, I'm going to put some tea on. Oh, Innistrad, isn't it great? Even before Emrakul showed up, it was a shithole. Now it's a like disaster zone. I just find that so funny. Like, seriously, I will be so happy when we find out that Chandra just incinerates every vampire at the wedding. I am gonna throw like a vampire incineration party, and if anything else happens than that, I hope we never go back to this plane again. These humans are so stupid. It's like I'm catching like a contact stupid. Like, it's actually physically hurting me how dumb the people who live on Innistrad are. As a fellow human, I'm offended by how stupid and clueless these people are about where they live and how they can constantly be killed by literally anything. What do? They put on a fucking Dairy Queen hat and pretend they're a Cathar and go get killed by a vampire. Pathetic. Anyway, this thing says at the beginning of your upkeep, any opponent may sacrifice a creature. If no one does, transform Innocent Traveler. Well, guess what? It's a 3/3 flying vanilla, except, it gets +2 as long as an opponent controls a human. Well, who gives a shit? If you think that's worth sacking almost any creature, you're an idiot. Just like you're an idiot if you don't realize that this is a self-free sack outlet for zombies just to get the death trigger. So next up, Rending Flame, 3-cost instant. It deals 5 damage to target creature, planeswalker, and then if it's a spirit, then they also deal 2 damage to that permanent's controller. So once again, nothing wrong with this except for the existing turns decks and dragon decks that just remove everything. They make sure that they race ahead of you while you can't stick a damn creature. They got board wipes in red, they've got point removal in red, and then they've got perfect flawless on color ramp with color fixing, and then dragons that bring out more treasures. Just an appalling deck, and now it gets this, so great. Next up, Frenzied Devils. I think this is a reprint, actually. It's a 5-cost with haste, devil, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Frenzied Devil gets +2/+2 until end of turn, aka double prowess. Oh gee, I was just thinking we needed a double prowess haste creature for the Is It spell spamming Pseudostorm deck. Fantastic. This is what I want in play when they start throwing All Runes Epiphany on the stack over and over and over. Or that stupid instant of sorcery that goes to get more instants and sorceries. Yeah, that's what I want, is some frickin' 7/7 that I didn't know about until the last second coming at my face. Great, wonderful, thanks for that, Wizards. Next up, Pack Song Pup. It's a 2-cost 1/1 at the beginning of combat on your turn. If you control another werewolf or wolf, put a 1/1 counter on Pack Song Pup. I love how they print this, pretending like, ooh, that'll be really good. Luminarch Aspirant. I mean, when you print stuff that broken, like nothing else even comes close to it. Ooh, some of the time if I meet the condition, I can get a counter once per turn. Or I could sit on my ass for 2 mana and do nothing and get a counter. Wow! But this does say whenever it dies, you gain life equal to its power, so okay. I mean, we did need a little 2-cost drop-ins for the werewolf deck. It's pretty much all 3 and up, but I mean, it's still a good enough deck. Next up, Undead Butler. 2-cost 1/2 zombie. When it enters battlefield, mill 3 cards. And then when it dies, you may exile it. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, I thought for sure for 2 mana in the uncommon spot, this was going to say to the battlefield. Don't act like that's not the power level we're at right now. Next up, Fearful Villager, a card that makes no logical sense whatsoever. It's a 3-cost 2/3 human werewolf with menace and daybound, so like actually a pretty good card. And then when it flips, it's the same thing, menace, whatever, but it's a 4/3. So just more werewolf fuel. Oh, I mean, more leftover stragglers from Midnight Hunt that they put in Crimson Vow and are still insisting that they were always designed as 2 separate sets, despite Mark Rosewater saying that they were designed as 1 set and split in 2. I think a second staff member said that too, but they've now retconned that. So next up we got Angelic Quartermaster, double white, because of course, 5-cost 3/3 flying, and when it enters battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 other target creatures. Or you could run one of a dozen better, more powerful white cards. Boy, they set the bar way too high with that color and that deck. Next up, Lunar Rejection. I thought maybe Emrakul? No, it's just another damn bounce spell. So yeah, blue bounce spell, which great. Cleave 4, return target wolf or werewolf, creature to its owner's hand, then draw a card, but then you gotta pay 4 to make it not target a wolf or werewolf, so it's actually completely worthless. I don't know who this is for, I don't know why this merited being an uncommon, but my god is this trash. So next up, Kessig Wolf Rider. Oh boy, a rare 1-cost red human knight 1/2 with menace. That's what Goblin Red Rush needed. I mean, the Goblins have synergy. They've got like 2 or 3 Lords cards because I guess Wizards thought that was appropriate. But I've seen Red Rush that's a little bit more direct. and a little bit more optimized with the tribal synergy dropped, and they just run like a couple frostbites, yeah, this would go straight in it, especially with Menace. So now also you pay 2, tap it, exile 3 cards from your graveyard, and then create a 3/2 Red Wolf creature token. So it's got a little bit of mid-range, while it's got a little bit of defense on turn 1. That's actually pretty good. Next up, Toxrill, the Corrosive. This is how you design a proper, like, high-powered, high-cost card. So it's a 7-cost 7/7 at the beginning of each end step. You bring it out and then boom, end step. Put a slime counter on each creature you don't control, which is obviously very practical in paper, especially in multiplayer Commander. It's almost like they're optimizing for multiplayer Commander or something. How weird. What an unusual tonal shift for them. Anyway, creatures you don't control get a -1/-1 for each slime counter on them. Yeah, so they just slowly melt like 1 per turn. Then, whenever a creature you don't control with a slime counter dies, create a 1/1 black slug creature token, which is hilarious. And then if you pay 1 blue, so that came out of nowhere, and 1 black, sack a slug, including itself. I think it probably should have said other slug, but whatever, it's just draw a card, so... If you're resorting to that, they dropped in an exile spell or kill spell you can't deal with, and you want to pay 2 and get a card out of it, more power to you. But yeah, I mean, this is just like a self-contained menace, but it's so slow, and you get so many opportunities to, like, stop it, while, like, urgently turn 1, your entire creature line is slowly melting. Like, that, it's a threat, but it's not, like, unstoppable, but at the same time, it's really, really good. And then at the same time, it's something you would never want to replicate, and so they made it legendary. You would not want 2 of those triggers going off. That would be insane. So this right here, show this to everybody at Wizards who designs cards and tell them this is how you design a powerful card. Next up, a Moose. It's a double green because, of course, this set, I don't know what they're getting at, but this set, it's a 4-cost 4/4 creature beast, trample haste, so, just good. And then if you pay 7, which, it's steep, but you transform it into an 8/8 trample haste, and other creatures you control get +1/+1 and have trample and haste. Yes, you should have to keep a creature alive long enough to next turn spend the rest of your 7 mana on turning it into a Lord's card. That should be how hard it is to give all of your other creatures +1/+1, not, oh, I dropped in a 2-cost colorless artifact. But, guys, in my defense, I had to pick a color, too, in my monocolored deck, so, I mean, sacrifices were made. No, you want to sit there and give everything like +4/+4 by turn 5, you gotta earn it. And also, by that, I mean, you shouldn't be able to do that. This is how you print a power card, Wizards, right here. 2 for 2, we got a slug and a moose. Then we got Vile Spawn Spider. This thing's just an absolute piece of shit. Really just a roller coaster of power levels in this set of spoilers. This is really, really a sight to behold. So we've got a 2/3 for 2 with reach at the beginning of your upkeep. Mill a card. And then if you pay 4 and tap it and sack it, create a 1/1 green insect creature token for each creature card in your graveyard. Activate only as a sorcery. You can't even do it at instant speed. So you just melt your whole deck. You just start chucking stuff in there like this is the only card you need, because you might maybe have the opportunity to get a couple 1/1 green insect creatures, but not on the stack while they target this with the kill spell. Wow, power card here, guys. Power card. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember green-blue even being in this set. I thought this card was actually some kind of joke. So next up, we've got Brine Combr. It's a 3-cost 1/1, so honk honk, pull in the truck to Value Town. Whenever Brine Counter enters battlefield or becomes the target of an aura spell, create a 1/1 spirit creature token with flying, and then disturb 2, and it just turns into an aura that does the same thing. In case you forgot, really, really shitty constellation is in this set. Next up, Sigardian Paladin. It's a 4-cost green-white 4/4 human knight, and as long as you put 1 or more 1/1 counters on a creature this turn, Sigardian Paladin has trample and lifelink, and then for some reason, they made a weirdly similar ability where you pay 3 and target creature you control that has a 1/1 counter on it, but I guess, like, the logic is didn't receive it this turn? Or, like, didn't benefit from anything else receiving it this turn, but then it did? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, you're not putting it on, you're just targeting something that was put on. If you can't put a counter on that turn, the next best thing is activate this. I mean, I guess, okay, that kind of makes sense. Whatever, I hate the green-white decks right now, the just Moon Dancer, Innkeeper, Scoot, Swarm Flood, oh god, those are cancer. So you know what? Why not add lifelink, trample, and counters to it? Sure, that'll work. So next up, Twinblade Geist, because there isn't enough double strike in white, which is actually false. There is more than enough. Let me remind you that equipment decks are still a thing, but even if you're not running equipment decks, you got that quad hybrid red-white thing that grants double strike to every attacking creature. And then if you have the wonderful pleasure of playing on Arena, you've got the Angel that is in the A series, so it's probably not even a real card that exists. But every time a creature attacks, it gains indestructible. That's a fun little combo, very susceptible to control, but this one kind of isn't. So this by itself is double strike and then disturb 3. So you want to get this killed as quickly as possible. It's not even flying. It's not that hard to do. Then you get Twin Blade Invocation. So it's an aura, and then enchanted creature has double strike. So you like kind of have to kill this twice, but the second time you have to kill whatever they attach it to. Yeah, I mean, remember when Night Howler was considered a good card, and now we're just looking at this crazy shit for 2? But I'll give them this. It's not a guaranteed thing that you'll be able to get this killed at will in a white deck. They might just let it through, or just whatever. And then it's pretty slow, because you're at least a turn away from dropping the aura in, and then you have to have another target, then you have to protect the target. That said, there's still too damn much double strike in white. You can't really get past that fact. So next up we got Cloaked Cadet. It's a 4-cost 2/4 with training. Hey, remember when we thought that like training would be the power keyword in this set? And now it's like, I don't know if you played Standard in the last month, but you can't stick a creature for more than a turn. There's too much control, board wipes, and extra turns. So if you even get to play your turn, you're going to play your turn with half your creatures dead. And the other half are dead next turn. So it's like if they think training is even going to go off one time, they're out of their damn minds. Yeah, human 0, literally everything else 1 is the score for this set because they're a little late on the training. They should have started training 50 years ago. Well, in my opinion, the humans had it coming. They're pathetic and their plane is a shithole. So anyway, yeah, it's a 2/4, and whenever one or more 1/1 counters are put on one or more humans you control, draw a card. So they think training and the whole counter thing and that last Sigardian Paladin, that's all going to go together. It's not. They're just going to scatter it with the other better counter dumping stuff like Cleric class. And because they obviously didn't conceive of that or test for that, I think it's going to take that already tier 1 deck and really push it pretty hard. So I'm a little concerned about that, but I don't think a 5-cost 2/4 is going to do it. I'm not referencing this card, I'm just saying. Oh yeah, so yeah, this triggers once per turn because, we can't get too crazy with this 5-cost 2/4 piece of shit. Next up, Dread Feast Demon. Here we go. 7 cost 6/6, so at least it costs 7. Flying. At the beginning of your end step, you must sacrifice a non-demon creature. It does not say you may. If you do, create a token that's a copy of Dread Feast Demon. If you don't, nothing, because that's the end of the card. Oh, sorry, you were waiting for a penalty? You were waiting for something to offset this overpowered piece of shit? Well, you're waiting on the wrong company because this is Wizards of the Coast making these cards. So the whole thing is that, okay, the second token would also say sack something at the end of your end step or whatever. So eventually you'd run out of everything that's not a demon. I guess the slight oversight they made there was that who gives a shit, because a 6/6 flyer is better than anything else I have in play, and every time I sack anything, I get another 6/6 flyer in its place that is exactly 1-to-1 another creature. So the inherent weakness, pros and cons that they put on it, they forgot to actually design the downside, the con, properly. Oops. I swear, they just went to a list of everything that players hate right now, like spell cloning, creature cloning, hyper control, green and white being able to do every single thing on the entire color pie. And they're like, okay, let's take that whole list and use it as a guideline to design all of our cards. Because, abandoned Standard, we print cards for Commander now. Unfortunately, us still playing Standard have to tolerate crap like this. So, hooray! If only somebody at Wizards had the balls to, ban 15, 20, 30 cards so that they could fix the state of Standard and then let the cards still be legal in Commander, which wouldn't even take a dent out of their price. Wouldn't that be an interesting management strategy to salvage some semblance of Standard after they've lost well over half their players on Arena last I checked? Oh, they're so embarrassed by the numbers that they block third-party trackers now and threatened all the others that were insisting on still doing it with legal action, in case you didn't hear about that. I'm going to keep reporting on it, though, because they can suck my dick. So next up, Groom's Finery. It's a 2-cost black artifact equipment, and equipped creature gets +2/+0, and it gets an additional +0/+2, and has Death Touch as long as an equipment named Bride's Gown is attached to it. Or, no, attached to, that would be weird, attached to a creature you control. The funny thing is it could be the same creature. Haha, it's 2021. I'm the bride and the groom. Somebody's probably done that. They probably had blue hair. So equip 2. Wow, I bet this will be the combo of the century worth putting in your deck. For certain. So the last card in this list of cards that I can tolerate until I have to make the second video today. Cemetery Prowler, it's a 3 cost, but double green because everything in this set is double. Vigilance 3/4, and whenever Cemetery Prowler enters the battlefield or attacks, exile a card from a graveyard, and then spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each card type they share with cards exiled with Cemetery Prowler. So that's actually like kind of interesting. So this card and every single word written on it, from the Vigilance to the carrying mode exiled to the card matching to the type matching, is the most pure mono white classic white card I've ever seen, and then for some reason it's green. So there's that, but other than that, like, this is like a really decent card that just kind of builds up as a bigger threat over time, but since it's a mythic, it starts as a pretty big threat as a 3/4 with Vigilance. That is how you print a good power card. See, they do get it right occasionally. I'm convinced all these really well-designed, interesting, fun-looking cards were designed by like one person, and everybody else there is just batshit crazy. Based on the Twitter profiles and activity of some of the staff members, that almost has to be true. I have just short of proof of that theory at this point. So anyway, yeah, that was your latest pile of shit that Wizards crapped out. And thank God, Jesus, and Moon Emrakul that my third channel is actually doing well, because the sooner I can stop covering this game, the better. In the meantime, I need a paycheck, so stay subscribed for the second spoiler video today, where I have to catch up on, oh God, I think it's 49 more cards. Oh, just kill me now. In case you're curious, like my income on YouTube right now for this channel is so far down the toilet, but I still want to like kind of keep making like media creation stuff, because even before YouTube, I was an author for one of the biggest companies in the world. And I was one of their top authors. They brought me out as like a guest speaker or like a special guest for their user convention, and then hired me as an editor. So like I've been doing content creation for like, oh God, I want to say like 13, 14 years. So I don't want to give that up. And I'm starting to kind of hate eBay sales, because eBay people and the company eBay. But you might find this interesting if you stayed this long in the video, which according to statistics, hi 3 of you. You may have heard something during a live stream, or a couple of hints on my Discord server, or, you know, here and there, that I've developed a mathematical strategy that is absolutely perfect for beating casinos. I'm about to say, that's not possible. Oh, counting cards, you're going to get kicked out. I'm not counting cards, okay? If it's a, like, oh, that one craps bet, 101% edge, yeah, no. I don't need to make $1 every time I risk $100. No thanks. That's... I'm not even going to get started on how stupid that is and how people need to calm down with that shit. We have around like a 347% advantage the way I'm playing. So, so far my crew, because of course I got a group of people doing it, have hit, I think, 8 different casinos in Wisconsin. And so far we've made, you know, I still don't want to disclose the number, but more than my YouTube channel. Let's put it that way. More than my YouTube channel this entire year. I'm going to be in Vegas in December, and if I win enough, you are not going to hear from me for a while. Except on my channels that I do just because I enjoy it, which, in case you haven't noticed, is not this channel. So to answer question number 1, Des, why do you keep making Magic content if you hate the game? It's because I need the money, even though it's been shit and even more shit every month, because nobody gives a crap about Magic anymore or watches Magic content. They've all moved on to Flesh and Blood and back to some other TCG, which I refuse to cover because I have no interest in it whatsoever. And then 2, what else are you doing? Well, 2 other businesses plus, you know, the casino scheme. 100% legal too, by the way. Don't get that twisted. It is 100% legal. It's not cheating. It's not manipulation. It just comes down to the person who left the machine in that state should not have gotten up, and I'm going to sit down and check the machine, and if they left a payout multiplier there, then I'm going to play one hand on it. It's literally that simple. And then I'm going to play one hand and then get up and leave with my 400% advantage. It's not complicated. You don't have to be a math specialist, just saying. So also, I'm looking into making like a gambling channel, which I gotta see how heavily they get demonetized, if YouTube cares, if there's weird ad restrictions, if all the videos are gonna get marked as 18 plus. It would be really nice if I could find a casino to film in. That would be pretty cool. But that's a long shot. Otherwise, I might just start like a 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever the hell I'm on at this point channel, and just cover like all of the different video poker games, slots, how they work, do a couple, you know, demo things so that anybody's searching for how do you play Ultimate X Golden Wheel bonus or whatever, and then they just Google it, and then they find mine. Because I looked up the content like that already existing. I was just looking up like how do you play Dream Card Poker. It sounded cool, and I just wanted to find out how to play it. Every single video covering it is the most unprofessional, out-of-date, bad audio, no editing, rambling shit You think after over 3,000 videos between all my channels and being on YouTube for 8 years, I might be able to outdo these people? Just saying, it's free money. So assuming I'm allowed to make money on these channels, and no, I'm never gonna take a sponsorship from some shit online casino, no thanks. If I can do it, like, I go where the money is, let's just put it that way. So you might see that in the future. So, yeah, I might announce a new channel probably within a month. I'll make a decision on this and get the research done about a fun, like, gambling, gaming, whatever kind of thing. And it'll be not just like, oh, here's how you go rip off casinos. Oh, follow me for this great technique. Buy my book. Nah, it's going to be like, just play for fun on Facebook for free, or just, you know, keep it, like, every single video I'm going to tell people to, like, keep it real. Because I've seen people lose $1,000 right next to me and look really pissed at the casino. I'm like, how fucking irresponsible are you? How stupid are you? Like, I walk in with like a 20. But I mean, people get like that. I've seen people that way with drugs, alcohol, gaming, everything. It's an addiction. I get it. Cool. Like, I don't want to promote that. But if I'm the one dude out there saying, hey, like, keep it real, don't be irresponsible, don't be stupid. Okay, and here's how you just go out with your friends and have fun, and you might get some of your money back. Unlike if you went, you know, to the movies or on a cruise or something. You know, hey, so I know not a lot of people are gonna frown on that, but like, is what it is. If there's money there, I'm just the guy telling you how to play the games. And if I tell you how to play the games better and properly with proper strategy, then you're going to walk out with more money. So just getting out ahead of that one. So if anybody has any additional information, or they know a friend that runs a gambling channel and like, oh, they're fine with scratch offs, but they're not cool with like casino games or anything Class B, Class D games, or like, it's cool as long as you're careful with the keywords, kind of like my prepper channel where I just didn't say the word prepper for 6 months. Like, I would very much appreciate that. Email me, Discord, whatever, Patreon, message, you know, about tab on my channel. That's how you email me. Or if you own a casino, or a manager knows someone, you know, where you could get me permission to film there, I would be very grateful, and I would cut you in for a percentage. So with all those little channel announcements, rounding out the end of this video, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you guys next time.